So I'm beginning on a new project, and it's new look 6517. And as you can see, and I'm sorry, it's view C. This is your envelope, and like I said, view C. I've cut out my pattern, I prepared the fabric and then cut, and let's sew it up. Thanks for coming, I appreciate you. And you will need one package of 1/2 inch bias tape. And this is how bias tape comes in a pack. And they look like this, and you get them in, this is a extra wide double fold bias tape. And I'm using a single fold. They come in many colors. And you can also make your own bias tape. This is a nice summer top. It's sleeveless, and as you can see from the layout, it only has 2 pattern pieces. So the first thing the instructions tell us to do is to stay stitch our neck area. And this is your finished look here, all around the neck, from one shoulder seam to the other. Okay, step 2, we're gonna sew our dots, no point dots, which means to sew off the edge and then tie your thread at the end in there too. Let's do that. So here are the dots on either side of the front. They have to be pressed downward. Okay, step 3 is to sew your shoulder seams together, like so. And step 4 is to add your bias tape. And then you're gonna fold that over like that. This is the outside. This is the inside. So this is actually how the bias tape look after you take it out of the package. You have these 2 folds. This is called a single fold bias tape. Although it has the 2 fold, it's a 1/2 inch single fold. You take one edge of your bias tape when you're gonna apply it to your garment and open it up like that. All the way around the armhole or edge hole that you're trying to apply to, and the bottom portion is still folded. So you open the top edge up and you apply it to the garment all the way around the area that you're trying to place it on, and you sew it 3/8 of an inch, which this direction is calling for, and the bias tape is placed face down, the right sides of the garment, and the bias tapes are facing one another, and you sew the edges for this particular project 3/8 of an inch around the armholes and the neck area. And after you do that, it's looking like this. After you do the edging or applying the top portion, you fold your bias tape over, base the bottom edges, and top stitch. And this is how it's looking after you top stitch. Okay, step 1 for the bias tape, you place the tape right sides together and sew 3/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Step 2, 2, 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 the tape over, you pin base the edges, you pin base the edges and top stitch, and your finished product will be looking like that. So after we finish the side seams, which is step 7, we're moving to the arms. We're going to sew our bias tape around each arm. And 10 is press up hem in the lower edge of garment to form narrow hem. Tuck under your creases and stitch. Press under 5/8 of an inch and split. Press under 1/4 of an inch on raw edge. Stitch and square stitches above opening. These are illustrations of what we'll be doing at the end, and that would be the end of this top. Okay, so here is the finished product. These are the armholes with your bias tape, your completed hem with your side splits, and that's a wrap.